Hello, everybody. Welcome to this master class. This is a special occasion, and we have all the experts that are going to talk about very interesting topics. Let me introduce first the director of the WBC University, Xochitl Lagarda. Xochitl, how are you?
Well, Victor, thank you for the introduction. I'm very happy. This is the second master class during 2025. And I'm so happy to have here our president, Mauricio Sulaimán. And of course, I was always my mentor, Duane, welcome. Today, he's the chairman of the ring officials of WBC. And I just want to explain the difference between a WBC talk and a master class. A master class is when our president has a high-level conversation with some of the leaders of WBC. So they review the topics, and it's a free talk between them. That's the difference, because in a traditional WBC talk, we have case analysis, we have debate, so that's the difference. But also, Mauricio is going to be, for you and Duane, the first time that you are going to listen to two things we introduce in our traditional WBC talks. The first one, I want to introduce Christian Manzur with educational appeal, that he shares with us every week. Welcome, Chris.
Hello, Xochitl. Hello, everyone. It is very nice to see you again. And as Xochitl has said, we dedicate a little time before every talk. So today we have decided that we will be talking about self-confidence in boxing. Well, this before we listen to our experts. When we talk about boxing, it's not only the fighters we refer to, but the whole community. Regarding self-confidence, boxers always gain it from preparation, experience, and mindset. Training hard, learning to stay calm, knowing their opponent, trusting their skills are some of the components that contribute to build self-esteem. As for ring officials, they also enjoy the security and confidence that boxing offers. During the fights, they are the ultimate authority. They are responsible for the respect shown during the bout, as well as the outcome of a fight. It is always their decision, and it is irrevocable. As for the members of the boxing community, I would like to share with you that 25 years ago, without knowing nothing, absolutely nothing about boxing, I met my husband, Mauricio. Since then, I have been learning every single detail there is to know about boxing. He has taught me how to respect every single fighter, as well as to listen and give each member their place at the WBC. It was long after that, when I joined the WBC Cares, when I really understood the importance and greatness of belonging to a group. The impact it has on every member, the way they belong and the way they make you feel, has an important impact on self-esteem, because it is very nice to be part of a big and unique group. All my gratitude goes to the WBC, and I would like to make you think how grateful we should all feel, because we belong to a group that considers every individual as a single one, and that improves and helps your self-esteem. So thank you so much, and I really value and the WBC Cares for making us feel, the WBC for making everyone feel like they belong in a big family. That's for today.
Xochitl, your microphone is off.
Thank you, Chris. It's very important to talk about self-esteem. And I think here at WBC, it's something we're empowering every time. And before I share the open talk to Mauricio and Duane here, I just want to share an exercise that I've learned is very important. Every seminar I go with Duane, he speaks about the concentration that is necessary for ring official. Is it right, Duane? That's the main point. So we have included in this WBC talks the concentration part. Gilbert, if you put, please, everybody who is on camera now, pay attention, okay? We need to count how many arrows go to the right. Let's begin now. Pay attention. How many did you count? Now put that down, Gilbert, so we can see the faces of everyone. And let's see if they got the right answer. How many? A ver, Mauricio.
15.
Duane?
Well, you know, I was concentrating so hard that in my mind, the arrow had to be pointed in the right direction. So then when I realized it, I was into it already. So I think there were more than 20, but I'm not sure because I missed the first few.
Yeah.
No, but I'm sorry, the arrows, it doesn't matter if it goes which
No.
way it's pointing, as long as it's going this way, right?
Yeah, I think Abigail here, she put 18 and she's got the right questions. Bravo, Abigail. And now, I know it's hard to concentrate, but it's some of the exercise we do. Now, Mauricio, Duane, this time is all for you. Please welcome and let's have a great talk.
Thank you. Thank you, Xochitl, Victor, Christian, and the rest of the WBC University team. I know that every Thursday, we have the WBC Talks. It brings my mind back to the dark days of the pandemic when we began through the WBC University a daily talk every morning in English at 11 and Spanish at 1 for so long. And it is this platform which kept us united, which kept us confident, gave us self-confidence in belonging to a group that really really cared for us as a great team, as a great family. I am so honored to be with Duane Ford, who is my mentor. He's one of the greatest boxing judges, boxing commissioners, president of an organization, which is the NABF, vice president of the WBC, and so many things that throughout his life he has encountered in boxing. He's a great leader, a great presenter, a great teacher, and I'm very excited about the topic that today we have, which is officiating. This masterclass, we're going to try to go down deep to very specific points and to hear from Duane and some of the judges that are here and referees. I am overwhelmed to see how many people from all over the world. We have Italy, China, many states of the United States, Panama, so many people that are here joined, so many friendly faces, the Ukraine. I just want to give my deepest gratitude for you to take your time and to be with us in the masterclass. So, first, what is the difference between a judge who is sitting right there in the position, he's one of the three around the ring, and everybody else watching a fight? So that's one thing I'm going to point out. The difference between the judge sitting, working the fight, and the person next to him, the person behind him, the person in the last row, or watching at home are very simple. Number one, the view, the position that we have. The judge has one view, which is only what he sees in front of him, and everybody else has a second, third, or very wide spectral to have a view of the actions, the closeness. Not necessarily the judge has the best seat in the house. They have to be struggling with photographers, with people around, looking up, the referee interfering in the vision, the actions being far away or close. So the view is one of the first differences between the judge and everyone else. Second, the judge, 99.9% should not have any favorite in the fight. The judge is absolutely neutral, has no interest on who wins, and does not care who wins. He's only there to score what he sees. Most of the rest do have an interest. If you are the promoter, you are the corner, you are a fan, you're a fan that are only just having fun and you identify with the nice outfit of one boxer, or your nationality, or you gambled on the fight, you placed a bet, so you have an interest to see who wins that fight, and that has absolutely changed on the mind of what are you thinking is happening. Third, there is no influence on a judge. He's not listening to the broadcaster. He's not watching the unofficial scores that they're showing live, or they're showing on the screens, or the people that are discussing who is winning the fight. The judge should be absolutely concentrated and looking only into the actions. The judge must not drink at least one day before the fight, and of course, not the day of the fight. And I assure you, most of us watching a fight, except to the supervisors and inspectors, we're having a nice beer or nice whiskey, whether you're in the arena or you're at home enjoying the fight. Contrary, the judge is completely sober and concentrated. Next, the distractions. When you're in an arena, somebody bumps into you, a beautiful girl walks by, there's a fight in the stands, they drop popcorn, angry lady throws popcorn to you. So many things that can happen. Why are you smiling, Christian? You ever do that?
Never, Mauricio. Never. I
So
never
many
do that.
things can happen that distract. You are at home and your wife is calling you, anything. So there's a huge difference between the judge and everybody else watching the fight. Being that said, I would like to ask Duane Ford on what is it that you feel about the judges sitting as it is, and it has been for years, one judge in each side of the ring, and is there something that could be changed for the betterment of that position?
Well, thank you, Mauricio. First, I'd like to thank Christiane for her comments. We need to feel good about ourselves and feel good of boxing as a family. But I really appreciate her thoughts and things that she said this morning. You know, you started out saying that a judge has a special seat and the people around him and so forth. But I think the difference between a judge and the people around him is the people around him are fans and the judge is an official. And therefore their focus, their purpose of being there is totally different than the people in the arena or the people sitting around him. Now, do I think that there's a different view from the three seats of the judges? Yes. I can recall one fight that I did wherein the last round of the fight, the fighters fought with one fighter's back in my face. and therefore I really couldn't see a lot of the action. I could see his back. But keep in mind, a judge can only score the punches and the fight that he sees. If you're not seeing the punches, you can't give them credit. You can assume that they're landing, but you must be able to see them and know that they were effective punches. I think that before the judge gets in his seat, he has to clear the mechanism. I've used the baseball term of an old movie that Kevin Costner played in, that he was the pitcher in the last inning, and he leaned in to throw the pitch to the catcher, and the crowd noise was so distractive that he stepped off the mound and came back and tried to do it again and stepped off. And then he said to himself, clear mechanism, and the arena went silent. And that's something the judge has to do. No matter which seat you are in the arena, you have to clear the mechanism once you sit in that seat. But you can't wait to sit in the seat and then start your focus. Before you even get in the seat, you got to eliminate all distractions. I recall a time that I was on the way to the arena, and my 16-year-old daughter asked me if she could do something as I was going out the door. And I told her no. And she and I had a little fuss. So I left, I went to the arena, and I was doing the fights. All night long, that little fuss distracted me. I don't remember the fights. I don't remember what card it was, but I remember I didn't clear my mechanism. And therefore, you have to have your life in order to sit in that seat. If you have distractions at work, if you have distractions of your marriage, if you have any kind of a distraction, you need to put that away before you go to the arena. But yes, Mauricio, there is a different view, but we're all looking for the same thing, which we'll discuss later.
There was a WBC talks a few weeks ago in which a proposal was discussed. In tennis, the judge has the best view of the house. It's a high chair in which he or she have absolute view of the whole court, and he can assess the actions. Would it be possible that the WBC has a trial of having 3 high chairs in an event to maximize the view of those judges? And I'm talking about the high chair like a tennis court that is above the ropes, so they can see, the 3 judges can see the actions in the ring.
Mauricio, I don't think there's anything wrong with the seats as they are today. I think what's wrong with the seat is the individual in it.
Well, that's a strong
You see, the chair, most officials are going to check the height of the chair before the fight start. And if they don't have the comfortable thing, a lot of them will stand up. But I don't think the height of the chair needs to change. But I think the preparation, the mental preparedness of the official, that needs to be ready. But I don't think the chair has much to do with the score.
Thank you very much. I see many judges, many referees today. And to be clear, what we expect from the WBC mechanics, from the WBC points, and it's not a rule, but it's a simple, like what we have in the triptycho that we read, the pocket reminders, the few items that we look for. We need the ring officials to understand that officiating is like a language. If you do not speak the same language, then you are not going to say or understand exactly the same as your friend. If you speak English and the other one speaks French, whatever is said is going to be understood differently. So you're seeing different things. What Duane Ford and his team has been trying for years is to reach that uniformity, for you all to speak the same language, meaning that what you see and the interpretation and the process is as close as possible to the same. That way, you will score the same way, speaking the same language. Duane, can you please go on the close, moderate, decisive, and extreme decisive system that has been working for the past few years in the WBC?
Yes, Mauricio. Let me give you some background on this, is that in Nevada, early in my career, they developed, and a lot of official commissions do it now, but they had a meeting right after the fight, and you'd be asked questions as to why you scored it that way. And a lot of the answers were, well, I thought this fighter was scoring the heavier punches, or I thought this fighter was being more effective, or I thought one thing, and it was just a very vague answers that were ambiguous and so forth. So we thought of a language that we could all understand, and the language that we developed is close, moderate, decisive, extreme decisive. All of us know that the winner of the round gets 10 points. The loser gets 9 or less, depending upon what happened. But we want to ask the official, did you have it close? Or did you have it moderate? Or did you have it decisive or extreme? Let me give you the definitions or the identifying term for each. Close is a very narrow margin of victory. In other words, it would be so close that either fighter could have won the round in a close fashion. So it was very close. The next term is moderate. This is where it moves into where a clear winner of the round. There's no question it's moved to a clear. The third area is it's decisive. This is where there's a large margin of separation and winning. The third is extreme decisive. Whenever your mind goes to extreme decisive, in your mind, you have gone 10-8 without a knockdown. Yesterday, I received a phone call from an official, and he said to me, I understand that we cannot have any more 10-8s without a knockdown. And I said, you understood incorrectly. There are 10-8s without a knockdown. And that's when in your mind, the judge has moved to extreme decisive. A lot of judges might move too quickly to the extreme decisive. You will know when it's an extreme decisive when your mind registers, this guy is really getting damaged and beaten badly. Don't be afraid to go extreme decisive if you know in your mind it has gone that far. But again, I review, close is a very narrow margin of victory. Moderate is a clear margin. Decisive is a large margin. And extreme decisive is 10-8. He really won the round in a large fashion.
So close, moderate, and decisive is still being scored 10-9. extreme decisive, we go to the 10-8 without a knockdown. We need to practice and practice and practice. I believe that all of you have used that scorecard that has the C, M, D, E, D. It's the WBC scorecard. What is the problem with it? That it is used only in WBC fights. We are trying to get this scorecard to go universal so judges can use them in 4-round fights, 6-round fight, 8-round, 10-round, world championship fights in their state, in their country. And that is a task that has resistance from the local boxing commissions worldwide. But we are slowly getting there. The key that we intend is this system brings your level of concentration way deep. So don't be afraid in your own scorecard from your commission to put 10-9 and you put on your own a C or an M or a D. Don't be afraid. Get used to go to the level of concentration that the system brings you to. Because if you just score 10-9, you are going to be back at the level that does not require you to go to the depth of the concentration. Duane. 10,
Yes,
10,
Mauricio,
10, oh, yes.
I'm sorry. I'd like to suggest to all the judges that are out there that just get in the habit on the back of your scorecard, flip it over and go C or an M or a D, just for you. Because after the fight, you may be asked how you had it, and you can easily say, I had it 10-9 close for Duane. Mauricio was the loser. 10-9.
Duane, 10-10. 10-10 rounds.
Yeah.
There's a belief and there's some boxing commissions that prohibit 10-10 rounds to the judges.
Yeah, and a lot of that might be my fault because years ago, we just taught you got to find a winner. And that was when ESPN came in originally, and they did, I can't remember, if it was a draw, you had to have an extra round. So the fighters would have to fight an extra round. So, but anyway, let's go back to your question on even rounds, 10-10. There are 10-10 rounds. And I think that you should score a 10-9 or a 10-10 round on two situations. Number one, if you've lost your total concentration in that round, don't try and guess who won the round. Score it 10-10 to be fair for both fighters. If you've lost, yes.
Wait, sorry. We are human beings and it can happen, correct?
Certainly. I mean, you might have a brain distraction that you're thinking, where are we going to gather to eat after the fight tonight during the round? And you're trying to decide what you want to eat, and you come back to the fight. If you've lost your concentration, don't be ashamed of it. Just put 10-10. And then if you have a lot of 10-10s during that fight, we'll have a little chat with you. But the other time you should score 10-10 is when it's a dead even fight. And you know what? There are times that it is a dead even round. And don't be afraid to do it. Now, if you're the only judge in the area that's going a lot of 10-10 rounds, it might be a red flag that you're losing some concentration. But again, it's okay to go 10-10.
Steve Morrow, you want to say something?
Yeah, if I can speak to that a little bit. Just a personal experience. I think, Mauricio, you were my supervisor in Japan at the Saitama Super Arena, and it was an incredibly close fight. Every single round was razor thin. And we're trained as officials to use our mental meter. throughout the whole entire round as to, the red corner's winning a little bit, the blue corner's coming back, which is precisely what I was doing during that fight. And there was one round where my mental meter was back and forth and right where it should be, and ding, the bell rang. And I thought to myself, here it is. You have to be true to yourself. This was a 10-10 round as I saw it. So the fight goes on, the fight ends, and very, very, very close scoring. And I even went to you afterwards and I said, should we talk about this round? And you said, what round? And I think it was 7, let's say round 7. And you pulled open the book and you said, well, one judge had it this way very close and the other judge had it this way very close. Where's the argument? And that stuck with me. That's the one and only 10-10 round that I've ever scored in a world title fight. And here it is probably 10 years later, and I'm still thinking about it. But Duane's exactly right. It was, I could not pick a winner. And I didn't want to guess, certainly. And I didn't want to just randomly pick one of the fighters for the sake of not having a 10-10 round. So that phrase, be true to yourself, that's what I did. And that's my one experience with the 10-10 round. I haven't forgotten about it.
Is
Well,
this
you
a
did the
hint?
right thing, Steve. And Mauricio, if I might jump in here, Steve, thanks for bringing that out. And you hit a button with me that you use that mental meter. I suggest to all the officials, the judges out there, you think in terms of red is winning close. It's close. Oop, it's gone to moderate. It's gone to moderate. Oop, it's back to close. And if you use the close, moderate, decisive, extreme, it will be a real benefit for you. And if you could, it's that old story that if I tapped you on the back during the round and asked what's your score, you could say red corner close or blue corner moderately. So I encourage all the judges, when your mental meter is working, and hopefully it's working all the time, but when it's working, you think he's winning close, he's close, close. And you keep that going over in your mind. And then when he moves moderate, he moves moderate. Now he might move back into close. And he might move into moderate. Oh, it's in the decisive. So I suggest you all try and do that. Good point, Steve.
I think this was a very clear hint from Steve that him and I have to go back to Japan for a fight. So let's find a new one. Let's go.
I'm not going to argue with you for sure.
Okay.
I just want to point out real quick that Mauricio, being a baseball fan that you are, the movie that Duane was alluding to earlier was For Love of the Game, and with Kevin Costner, and he's right dead on about engage the mechanism. You have to do that, and as officials, we're doing ourselves a disservice if we let the crowd noise distract us, or the argument with your daughter distract you. You have to engage that mechanism. That's all for now.
Good. I have seen many rounds in which, unfortunately, officials are not prepared to score and are not ready to give the best full concentration and the correct score, which first 2, 3. When you get in that seat, it is human nature that you have in your mind that Canelo Alvarez is a super world champion. The other guy is a common fighter. Canelo is going to win the fight. It is human acceptable. And when that bell rings, your mind is thinking, Canelo is going to win this fight. And Canelo, blah, 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 blah. So if you are not ready by the first bell, you're going to let some of the first rounds guide you through the general principle of who's going to win. That's a huge mistake, but it's not easy to capture the ability to be ready to score that first round. There is no difference between round 1 and round 12. It's 10 points. and 9 or 8. Be very careful. Do you want to elaborate, Duane, on this?
Yes, and that's another good point, Mauricio. I say in a 12-round fight, there's a minefield out there you have to really be careful walking through. And it's round 1 through 4, and it's round 9 through 12. 1 through 4, you get into a fight where the fighter comes out and he's winning in the same way for the first 3 rounds. He's doing it the same way, same way. The 4th round comes up and the other fighter does a little better. And he fought back. And you saw a change in that round. Some judges will jump out and give it to that fighter because there was a change in the round when he didn't win it. So be aware in the first 4 rounds, and you got to concentrate on the middle rounds also. But be aware that if one fighter comes out and dominates in that first round, be prepared for the second thing for a new fight. Don't get your mind stuck on what happened. And if he does the same thing the second, don't get stuck on that first and second round. It's a new fight coming out in the third. The 9th through 12th, I think judges get a little tired. They get a little bit stale because the same movements occurred in the last 8 rounds. And then up jumps the devil in 12 or 9, 10, 11, and 12. And some judges don't want to get too far offshore with their score. And therefore they might throw in a free round or a gratuitous round or something. Don't cheat a fighter out of 1 round. Years ago, when we had 15 rounds, it was horrible to be able to do a 15-round fight and wonder what the other judges are seeing. And particularly if you're doing a shutout and the same guy's winning in around 12 and 13 or 14, and you haven't given the other guy a round, you're really thinking, oh man, I hope I'm seeing this right. But it was the most nerve-wracking ever. Just score the fight. Don't worry about what the other judges are seeing or what you think they might be. Just score your round, forget about it, and we'll go on to the next.
As a supervisor, I have encountered a problem that is becoming common, which is which side fighter is placed on the scorecard. It is universally customary that the champion is on the left side, the challenger is on the right side. Television has intervened and they have put the red corner and the blue corner. Canelo would not fight in a red corner because his sponsor was Corona. So this element has become a problem. And I have gone to the arena and found that the paperwork is mixed. I'm sure some supervisors that are here have had the same problem, but this applies to the judge. Make sure that the scorecard that you receive, you know who is on the left side and who is on the right side. The champion might be on the right side. You are used to write Canelo 10-9, but if Canelo is on the right side, be very aware. We have to work with the commissions to try to avoid this change that they have been doing in the UK, in Nevada, in New York, and try to pin down the customary A side and B side. I would like to talk a little bit about referees, Duane. We have a few topics of great importance, and let's jump right in what happened in New York with referee Willis, who is a human being, a very nice person, and he was found in a very awkward situation. What happened that time? Gervonta Davis took a knee. After he takes the knee, he gets up, the referee starts counting, And incredibly, he goes back to his corner, puts his head out of the ring, and something happens. And Willis absolutely lost the concentration with such action. He didn't know what to do. And it ended up to be a worldwide controversy and a huge black eye for boxing. What can you tell us, Duane?
Well, I feel bad for the referee. He got into a situation that one thing added to another, and it was a difficult situation. But I can bring up this, that I remember working the Tyson Holyfield fight when Tyson bit his ear off. And I thought of that the night I saw the fight in New York. And there was a lot of confusion in the ring. And the referee, who happened to be Mills Lane, wonderful, wonderful guy. It touches my heart to even think of Mills. But he went over to Mark Ratner, who was the executive officer in Nevada at that time. And Ratner had stepped on the table and was already on the ring apron because he knew there was trouble. And Mills walked over to Mark and said, "I'm going to disqualify him." And Mark said, "Are you sure you want to do that?" And Mills made a U-turn, walked totally around the ring. You could see him thinking because his hand was on his chin. And he come back to Mark Ratner and said, "I'm going to take 2 points." What happened there is the commission gave the referee some support. The commission had the right to be on the apron. The corner had no right to be on the apron. And I think that as I see that fight, I've reflected back to the ear bite of the Tyson Holyfield. The commission gave help to the referee.
This is huge. Also, the fan man, when he landed in the ropes in a parachute, or in Italy, the crowd got so mad at the ruling of the referee, and the sponsor of that event was a spaghetti firm, and they gave each fan a package of raw spaghetti, and everybody started throwing spaghetti to the ring, or shoes, or cushions. So all referees, all judges have to be prepared for the unexpected. If you are not, yes, 1 minute, Frank. If you think you have seen everything in boxing, you are completely wrong. And never be afraid as a referee to rely on your supervisor, on your commissioner, on your judges. It is within the rules that you can ask, because ultimately the referee is the only one that can rule anything. Yes, Frank.
Thank you, Mauricio. I'd like to reiterate what Duane had said, and he brought up a very important fact. And the difference between what Willis did and what Mills Lane did. And that was that Mills Lane went to the commission table, supervisor, and he asked for assistance. Referee Willis, he didn't seek assistance. He just lost the process system when you look back through the whole thing of what he could have done or what he did do. But I think that's a big difference that Duane is bringing out, that all our officials, we're all teammates, and we all need to work together, and we all need to help each other and watch each other's back. And maybe it would have been different if Willis finished his count and then called timeout and went over to the commission table and said, "Listen, I think that wasn't a knockdown. What do we do?" That's just my 2 cents.
And Mauricio, if I could jump in here, I don't want to even give the appearance that we're trashing the referee or not, but I want to go back. What does a judge do in this situation? The thing that the Fan Man as an example, the fight in New York as an example, the Tyson Holyfield as an example. What should the judge do when that occurs? You immediately turn your scorecard over and make yourself a note as to who is winning at that moment and what the score in your mind is. Make yourself a note, because I think in the Fan Man, it was 30, memory makes me think it was 33, 34 minutes of delay, and it was cold. So it takes me to another point here, that if there's a situation that occurs at the end of the round where the judges already are ready to fill their scorecards up, and if there's going to be an instant replay or a delay or something, it's important for the referee to let the judges know, hold your score. And judges need to be smart enough to turn their card over and put their score right then if there's any delay.
Great point. Anytime that there's an interruption of the action, a headbutt, a ring doctor visit, any situation, the judge must be aware where the action is at that moment. And the best recommendation is turn your card and write where you are at that moment before the fight resumes. This brings us to the instant replay. We have worked diligently in the WBC for more than 12 years to get the instant replay. We have been greatly successful in most countries. Now in the United States, Nevada has a great instant replay procedure. We don't know what commissions allow it and what don't. I know Texas does not allow it. I don't know if New York allows it. There was a big confusion about the commission saying they did not have the replay available. Then the network said yes, etc., etc. Instant replay and technology is a must. We all have to continue to speak out about it. Don't be shy to support the use of instant replay in any matter. Frank, you want to say something?
Yes, I wanted to go back to what Duane was talking about with the judges writing on the back of the scorecards. And this is a very important lesson that I learned from you personally. And that was that the referee has to let everybody know what's going on. And that's, you pounded that into me very early when you became president, that was something that you wanted all the referees to do, that not only the supervisor or the commission, but most importantly, the fans. We can't let the fans hanging of what's not knowing of what's going on. And I think that was something that happened in that particular fight between Davis and Roach, that nobody knew what was going on. And I just wanted to bring that point out.
That's a great point, Frank. Just to be clear what he's trying to say and to make a statement. The referee, in Duane Ford's word, I think it's your words, Duane, you have to sell to the crowd and to the TV audience your performance, specifically in warnings. We have seen so many referees up close that they come close to the fighter and say, stop holding, or watch your head, or low blow, without making any hand signal, much less a clear hand signal for everyone to see. If you go to the one fighter who is constantly doing something, and you make sure when you're going to warn him, make sure you make the correct, no, stop. If you do it once, twice, then you can take the point away without any issue. If all of a sudden, when the referee is just only giving verbal warnings quietly to them, he's doing his job, but nobody knows what he's doing, and then he takes a point away, then the craziness comes. That's what you're referring, Frank? So Duane, it's the right, it's the right say to, is the right way to say
Yeah.
sell it?
Let's go back to baseball. If the first base umpire, it's a close play, he really jumps into it and he's loud and he's demonstrative with his calls. He's out, rather than he's out. You sell your call, but you've got to do something with your hands or your body. You got to, so that the crowd knows what you're doing. And therefore, when you do take the point or when you do whatever, the crowd knows and you've sold your call to the crowd. You're talking about instant replay. And I think there's an important element here that when we have instant replay, Nevada has a great setup where they put a yellow light on the apron and it's flashing. That means they're going to review something at the end of the round. But the referee needs to communicate with the judges. In other words, if the bell rings, the judges are not paying attention, they're putting their score down and they turn them in and now they are instructed to take a point. So they got to take the scorecards back to the officials and do it. I think there needs to be some discussion or direction. If the referee knows there's going to be an instant replay at the end of the round, have the judges hold their cards. But judges, write on the back of your card your score.
Very good. We have, for the referees, a few top concerns or priorities. Number one, the rabbit punch. We cannot allow this to lose its priority, its attention, its concern. The first warning is given in the dressing room, and you have to be very strict during the fight with a rabbit punch. Again, we have seen that the referee acknowledged it directly, but you have to be firm and very open into making the signal and be very strict. And if there's another one, go ahead and deduct a point. Don't be afraid to deduct points. The knockdowns. What do we want? There's basically two types of knockdowns. One in which the fighter goes down, but clearly is not in a danger place. You know, down and he goes down, then the referee can perform one way. But what we want is the first and only priority for the referee is to look at the condition of the knockdown boxer before you do anything. We don't care if the other fighter went to the wrong corner. We don't care if the count is going on. The first thing you have to assess the down boxer. Down, now that you did, then you can turn. You make the fighter to go to the neutral corner, and then you take the count from the timekeeper. You don't have to rush that. So that's one of the major topics. We want you to assess the fighter who has been knocked down before anything. After the bell blows.
Can we stick with could we stick with the knockdown a second, Mauricio?
Absolutely, please.
I received a call recently from an individual that wanted to know how to score flash knockdowns. I tell you right now, there is no such thing as a flash knockdown. It might be something that the referees talk about when they're trying to relate damage or how condition of a fighter. But as a judge, there is no such thing as a knockdown. And here's the clue. If the referee counts, it's a knockdown and you score it 10-8. If the fighter is losing that got winning that got knocked down, you still go 10-8 and then judge what happens after the fight. But a knockdown, you don't have the right to determine the quality of the knockdown. It's a knockdown. If the referee counts, it's a knockdown.
Absolutely. There's no questioning you as a judge. You don't have the ability to put in jeopardy or into question the level of the knockdown. He's down, there's a count, it's 10-8. Unless it's a huge round that the other fighter would have won, then you can go 10-9.
We're
Okay,
talking rounds that are close, moderate.
even
go
decisive, yeah.
10-8, yeah.
Okay. After the bell, why a fighter can land a blow after the bell? Mostly because the referee was not in position. Once you hear the 10-second clap or whatever signal is in your state, you get very close to the action. Don't be afraid of getting punched. If you are afraid of getting hit, get out of the ring and go judging like the other wimps. No, it's just a joke. Don't be afraid to get close to the action and make sure you're ready to step in. There was 2 weeks ago an event in the UK, a fighter who was winning all the rounds. In the 9th round, there were the claps. The referee was not near the action. The bell rings, and there's a punch thrown, an exchange. The fighter goes down, and clearly he said, I got a winner here. I'm going to stay down. And he won by disqualification. So the referee mechanics was not perfect, no instant replay, and there was a huge injustice that happened. Another point that I want to mention as a top priority of the WBC is the open scoring. We've been through this. The initial stage of open scoring was complicated even within the WBC officials. There was a feeling that they would be exposed. There was a feeling that they could be questioned. There was a feeling that judges would adjust and change their scoring after knowing how the fight is being scored, etc., etc. The facts are that after 14 years of open scoring, thousands of fights of open scoring, none of this has happened. No fighter that is winning has started running around. Instead, they have kept doing what they're doing to win, and many times win by knockout. There have been no riots in the arenas because of the announcement of the open scoring. And the fact is that the corners do want to know where the fight is by the official judges. Any comments on open scoring? Okay. Last thing that I have, are these talks 1 hour or it can be a little bit more, Xochitl?
You are the boss. We can be a little bit more.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
We are, as you all know, we have the Riyadh season WBC Boxing Grand Prix coming up. It's going to be 5 events in Saudi Arabia. Fights are 6 rounds. Talent from all over the world will be competing. And we are introducing a few important things that will continue to serve as a trial. We're going to have, of course, instant replay. We are going to do open scoring after the 2nd and after the 4th round. We're going to have a buzzer 30 seconds before the end of the round, so they know the end of the round is coming and they pick up the action. But my favorite feature, we're going to start using the WBC enhanced scoring, which is the CMDED system, as a point system. There's not going to be draws. If the fight scored by the judges ends up in a draw, then we go to the other system. I don't want to confuse you, it's very simple. The C means 1 point, M 2 points, D 3 points, ED 4 points. I think Victor is going to show it. So this is very simple. The official scores are as is, 10-9, 10-9, 10-9. But then we're going to get, if you see round one, all 3 judges scored 10-9 C. Round 2 was scored 9-10 C, 9-10 M. That's why he gets 2 points. Ya quítala, Vic, por favor. Very simple. It's going to be a fun experiment. We are doing research right now on fights that happened, how the scores ended up. If at the end of this new score, there's also a draw, then a panel of supervisors is going to choose a winner.
I'm going to
Because
zoom in and I'll call you right back.
this is a direct elimination tournament. We're going to do as many things possible to bring technology into boxing, to bring fan interaction into boxing, always maintaining the safety of the fighters as the top priority. But we have to get up to date. We got to attract young fans and to make sure that justice prevails at all times. Yes, Duane.
Let's go back to the Grand Prix just for a moment. Officials, you don't have to worry about it. All you have to do is score your card, the score that you have in your mind, and put a close, moderate, or decisive. That's all you have to do. This other stuff, it's a draw. It's for the scoring table. It has nothing to do with you. But just in closing, I want each of you to ask yourself, what is the image of the scoring of officials recently? In your own mind, ask yourself, what is the image? If it's a good image, that's great. If it's a questionable image, then I think that we need to go back to the basics and the scoring criteria, because I think we drift away a little bit from the scoring criteria. Remember, effective punches is the first thing on scoring criteria. Effective aggression is the second thing. And ring generalship or control is the third thing. Defense is not a scoring criteria. I say that again, defense is not a scoring criteria. It falls within the ring generalship, the control area. If a fighter's doing such great defense, he's controlling and he's got ring generalship, but it's not one of the scoring criteria. Personally, I just think some of the officials that are getting a lot of fights right now need to work a little harder. And all of us in boxing need to work a little bit harder, make our sport stand out. Be prepared in every fight that you go into. There's no entitlement in our sport. There's no entitlement in your assignments. I would suggest that if you really want to get known and you want to show how good you are, that you would go on remote scoring. Did we lose the link?
No, we're
Anyway. Anyway, that's all I had to say, Mauricio. Thank you, and it's been a good hour.
We have people, as I was saying, UK, South Africa, El Salvador, Venezuela, Italy, many states, Mexico. I'm so happy, so thankful. Panama. China, Thailand, yes.
Thailand, Australia,
Amazing.
Australia.
Italy, China, Panama, Argentina, South Africa, Mexico, US. Today, we have from more than 20 countries in the Zoom, and during the live transmission, we have from so many other countries. We're gonna tell everybody the results of the Zoom, and we got our maximum today, 100 in the Zoom, I asked everybody to turn on their cameras in case you want to see everybody, Mauricio. I don't know. Did everybody turn? No, they haven't. I think they're in pajamas, some of them yet. Well, we got 100 in, so which is really good. Congratulations and thank you for joining. And from more than 20 countries, the transmission was shared more than 35 times only on Facebook. So I'm sure we reach many more people than we just saw here.
We do have a few questions that came in, and we're going to address all of them, respond to all of them. One was the idea of having increasing from 3 to 5 judges. We have tried to do that. The problem is the promoters are not willing to try anything different. It was a huge fight, Usyk and Fury. So finances was not the issue. It was just the concern to move from the normal. And that's what we have always faced. The WBC has always changed rules. There's a resistance at the beginning, but at the end, most of the times we succeed. Are there any comments, any questions that anyone wishes to ask?
I have something real quick, Mauricio.
Yes.
I'd like to talk about very briefly what Christian said at the very beginning of this about taking care of ourselves and having the self-confidence to do this job. I can tell you personally that being an official in boxing at this level, you will be tested. You will be tested mentally. You'll hopefully question yourself for the right reasons at times. It's a massive responsibility that we have. And when you sit in that chair, if you're not prepared, it can get overwhelming very quickly. And having the self-confidence for me comes from these types of things. They come from training, come from experience, dealing with the partners that we have, the other officials. It's just super important to stay on top of your game and to practice and to have that self-confidence, because if you don't, you get left behind. So this stuff is great. And thank you, Christian, for that.
Thank you, Steve.
Yes.
Thank you for your words.
Self-confidence is a key element for performing. If you're not feeling well, if you feel a little bit stressed, or you have a little of mental health issues, if you have something going on, sometimes it's good to step back a little bit and be professional and honorable. You can reject an assignment. There have been a few cases where a ring official has contacted us and said, I'm not taking this fight. I'm very thankful, but I have this or this or this or this issue, including being, for example, close to one of the fighters because they train in the same team, or they go to, the kids go to school together, whatever. That's more honorable, and that will open more opportunities than performing in a wrong way. I'm never going to be tired to say we're human beings. We all have problems. We all have stress. We'll go through different issues. But that self-confidence, that knowing that you belong to this group, that you have people to watch your back, to support you when you're down, and to celebrate when you have success. This is the beauty of the WBC and the family that we have built for so many years. We have new faces. We have new friends. We have old friends. The thing is that we share principles and values. And I just cannot be more thankful to Xochitl, Christian, Victor, and the WBC University team for keep the WBC talks going. I love the masterclass, and I thank you for your attention. We will do our best to keep doing and improving the presentation. I would like to do some more videos and examples throughout the class, but I am just very, very proud of the WBC team and family that is here in this Zoom and that is watching from all over the world. Being that said, I'd like to say goodbye to everyone. We instituted during the pandemic a custom on the Zoom meetings that we go close to the camera and give a big hug so we feel together.
Okay.
Steve,
I'm
come
not hugging
close,
Steve
Big hug,
Morrow.
big hug. Come on, Dwayne.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Goodbye, all. Thank you all for
Thank
being here.
you. Have a great
Thank you.
weekend.
Have a love.
Yes.
Have a
Thanks
good
very
day.
much, guys. Be safe.
Thank you.
Take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
See you later.
Month in
Bye.
Vegas.
Ciao. Hi, Marie.
Thank you.
Super.